The High Court in Gqeberha in the Eastern Cape has granted an order suspending the implementation of Section 12 of the Municipal Structures Act in Nelson Mandela Bay by Cogta MEC Zolile Williams. This follows an out-of-court settlement between Williams and the applicant, Retief Odendaal. The order reinstates the DA's Retief Odendaal as the executive mayor. Williams amended Section 12, changing the governing system from Mayoral Executive System to Collective Executive System in the Metro. SABC News reporter Mcebisi Ngqina filed this report for us.
This is a process that has been going on for quite a long time. It started in August, where the then former MEC Ngqina of Cogta announced that he will be filing a notice to amend Section 12 here in Nelson Mandela Bay, changing the governing system from the Mayoral Executive System to a collective system. But the Democratic Alliance was actually resisting for that system to be implemented here in Nelson Mandela Bay, saying this is actually a political ploy on the side of the MEC Zolile Williams, who actually wanted to implement systems, saying that it would actually bring the ANC through the back door. The Democratic Alliance at that time in July was just signed a coalition agreement with other political parties that were part of a coalition government with the ANC in July. That is when in the following month, the then former MEC Ngqina announced that he will be filing this notice. In December this year, the current MEC of Cogta here in the province, Zolile Williams, gazetted that notice changing the system now to the collective executive system. What does this new system actually mean? It will mean that the parties that actually got the number of seats in council will actually form a committee that will be taking day-to-day decision here in the municipality. Those political parties will be the ANC, the Democratic Alliance, the EFF, and also the Northern Alliance, forcing the ANC and the Democratic Alliance to work together. But the executive mayor here in Nelson Mandela Bay, Retief Odendaal, has actually applied for an urgent application for interim relief to stop this amendment of Section 12 here. That is when that you find us here today outside the Port Elizabeth High Court. I do have the executive mayor just in front of me, just to quickly tell us about this application that we have filed here in court. Mayor, let's just quickly talk. Why don't you want Section 12 implemented here in Nelson Mandela Bay?
Well, I think it's been made very clear that we don't want the ANC to take the city via the back door. We believe that this ploy is politically motivated. It's got nothing to do with bringing political stability in Nelson Mandela Bay. In fact, there's political stability now. Any coalition government without a government where the ANC is present is better than an ANC government, and we believe that this is why the MEC is trying to undermine this municipality. We have launched the application, which is twofold. One is an urgent interdict to prevent the implementation of the system, and the second part of the application is actually a review application to review the administrative action that was taken by the MEC. We believe that the actions that was taken by the MEC was greatly flawed, and in fact the MEC approached us last week to postpone this matter, and basically we're now going to receive an order of court emphasizing the fact that we have settled, so to speak, to postpone this matter. And I remain the mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay, and the coalition government remains in place. That's the bottom line. This is all politically motivated, and it is really, really sad that an MEC for Cogta that should actually be supporting municipalities are now undermining the political stability within municipalities.
The MEC is saying that this is not about party politics, but the service delivery here in Nelson Mandela Bay. What's your take on that?
Well, let's make it very clear that if it was about service delivery in Nelson Mandela Bay, why has the MEC not once visited the city and put up a meeting with me to discuss the state of service delivery in the metro? He has based this decision on the status quo when the ANC was in government in Nelson Mandela Bay. If he was interested in service delivery, why did he not discuss the implementation of Section 12 and the effect that it would have had on the city with any of us? He has not been here, and he has not even written to the city to provide them with some kind of idea as to what is going to happen should the system be implemented. This is politically motivated, and I want to issue a warning to the MEC. We have not used a cent of ratepayers' money to fight this court action here today. If he proceeds to waste taxpayers' money, we're coming after him personally because he knows that there's an intergovernmental relations dispute in place, and that should have been finalised before he started with the process of implementing the Section 12 change of governance here in Nelson Mandela Bay. So we are ready, and we're going to give the MEC the fight of his life. We are fighting for Nelson Mandela Bay because we believe that having a coalition government in place here is in the best interest of the city, but more importantly, in the best interest of each and every resident of Nelson Mandela Bay.
The MEC is saying this is a tried and tested case. There's actually a case law using an example of a case of an IFP and also the DA, and also you look at the municipality, Tegui municipality, which is also using this system, this collective system. So what are your chances of actually winning this case in your main application?
Very, very good, because what the MEC is trying to do has never been done in South Africa. A change in a governance model has never been done after a local government election. But specifically to this case, there is an intergovernmental relations dispute that dealt with each of the aspects of the concerns that were raised by the MEC in March this year already. So the reality remains that there is no basis for his decision, and therefore we believe that we'll be successful. And that's also why the MEC didn't come here today and didn't fight us on the interdict. He proposed a settlement, and that's why we're walking out here with a court order that says the status quo remain.
Thank you so much. That was the Executive Mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay just talking about this case that we're expecting to hear inside here, saying that they have actually settled outside of court, and saying that he will also remain as the Executive Mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay.